Let me hit you with a truth most people spend their entire lives running from. Your life is passing you by right now. Every day you hesitate. Every day you play small. Every day you drown in excuses. You're trading away the only thing you can never get back. And if you don't decide to change, you'll wake up 5 years from now in the exact same spot, same body, same bank account, same broken patterns, same quiet misery, wondering why nothing ever shifted. You know why? Because you never decided to shift you. This isn't background noise. This isn't a podcast you play while scrolling. This is an intervention. You've stepped into Tony Robbins' track, and what's about to happen could flip the switch on your entire life. But listen carefully, you need to play full out. Don't just watch, engage, claim this moment. Right now, before we dive in, go to the comments and write these words in all caps. I refuse to stay the same. That declaration is the line in the sand. That's you saying, today is the day I cut off the old story and rise. Because what we're diving into first is the foundation, the truth that cracks the cage open. Nobody cares about your excuses, own your life. Nobody cares about your excuses, own your life. I want you to hear this in a way you've never heard it before. Your excuses are poison dressed up as protection. They feel like a blanket, they feel like safety, but they are the bars of the invisible prison you've been living in. And here's the raw, unfiltered truth. Nobody cares about your excuses. Nobody. Not your boss, not your friends, not your family, not even the people who love you most. They may nod, they may sympathize, they may pat you on the back, but they're not carrying the weight of what those excuses are stealing from your life. You are, and until you rip them out by the roots and burn them, you will never taste the level of freedom, power, and fulfillment you were built for. Excuses are the great justifier. They let you feel okay about staying small. They let you explain away why you're not where you want to be. They let you escape responsibility by pointing outward to your past, to the economy, to what your parents didn't give you, to what somebody else took from you. But let me tell you something, life doesn't hand out gold medals for who has the most creative excuse. Nobody gives you a trophy because you had it harder than the next guy. Nobody pays you in breakthroughs because you've mastered the art of rationalizing mediocrity. You either produce results or you don't. You either step up or you stay stuck. That's it. Your excuses may sound convincing in your head, but in the real world, results are the only language life understands. Think about gravity. Gravity doesn't care if you had a bad day. You step off a building, you fall, cause and effect. That's life. Excuses don't change the law of cause and effect. You can blame the rain, you can curse the clouds, but if you plant weeds and neglect the soil, don't be surprised when your garden rots. Here's what excuses really are. Stories that protect your comfort zone. And the comfort zone is where dreams go to die. Your comfort zone whispers, stay safe, don't risk, don't fail. And excuses are the armor that keeps you wrapped in that cage. But the tragedy, that armor is also the weight that keeps you from flying. You've got to decide today, right now, that you are done negotiating with excuses. Excuses are thieves. Every time you accept one, you're signing away a piece of your destiny. Every time you repeat one, you reinforce the identity of someone who's not in control. Is that who you want to be? Someone who hands the pen of your story to circumstances? Or do you want to be the one who rips that pen back and says, this is my life, and I will write it in blood, sweat, and fire, if I have to, but I will write it. Let me be real. The moment you kill your excuses, the world opens up, because suddenly, the power is back where it belongs, with you. If nobody cares about your excuses, then stop caring too. Stop coddling them. Stop dressing them up like they're valid. Stand up and say, I created this pattern and I can destroy it. That is ownership. That is freedom. And that is the first step toward becoming unstoppable. Pain is real, but progress is optional. Listen to me. You will experience pain. It is unavoidable. Emotional pain, financial pain, physical pain, the pain of rejection, the pain of betrayal, the pain of losing people you love, the pain of working your ass off and not seeing results yet. Pain is the admission price for life. You don't get a pass. You don't get to say, I don't want to hurt. You're going to hurt. Everyone hurts. But here's the breakthrough. Progress is not guaranteed. Progress is optional. Two people can go through the exact same pain and create completely different futures. One person uses the pain as fuel. They squeeze meaning from it. They let it sharpen them like steel in fire. The other person uses the pain as a coffin. They climb inside, close the lid, and let the world bury them alive. Which one are you? Which one have you been? Pain is the sculptor of greatness when you choose it. Every muscle in your body only grows because you tear it first. Resistance rips it apart, and then in the healing, it grows stronger, bigger, more powerful. Life works the same way. Every challenge, every setback, every heartbreak is resistance training for your soul. But here's the catch. You have to participate in your own growth. You have to decide, this pain will not break me, it will build me. Too many people confuse being hurt with being powerless. They believe pain means stop. They believe pain means victim. But pain isn't the signal to stop, it's the signal you're alive. It's feedback. It's saying, here is the edge of your current capacity. Now expand. Some of you have been running from pain your whole life. Every time it shows up, you numb it. Food, alcohol, scrolling, distraction, whatever your drug of choice is. And in numbing it, you also numb your power, because the very pain you run from is the pain that could have given you the strength, the hunger, the clarity to rise to a new level. I've been there. I've had nights where I thought the pain would crush me, and in those moments, I realized something that changed me forever. Pain is the doorway. On the other side of it is growth, identity, destiny. But only if you choose to walk through. Progress is optional. You can suffer and stay the same, or you can suffer and evolve. You can hurt and spiral, or you can hurt and sharpen. You can bleed in vain, or you can bleed into becoming. That choice is yours. Every single time pain shows up. So let me ask you, will you use your pain to justify weakness, or will you use it to demand strength? Will you make it the excuse for why you didn't, or the reason why you must? The human spirit was built for this. You were built for this. You are not fragile glass. You are forged iron. You were designed to withstand storms, to bend but not break, to bleed but not quit. When pain knocks, stop asking why me, and start declaring try me. Because when you master this, when you stop treating pain like a punishment and start using it as power, you become untouchable. Life can throw the fire at you, and you'll walk out stronger. Life can strip you down, and you'll rebuild bigger. Life can break your heart, and you'll love deeper. Nobody cares about your excuses. Own your life. Pain is real, but progress is optional. If those truths sink into your identity, if you tattoo them on your soul, you will never again live as a victim. You will become the creator, the warrior, the force of nature you were always meant to be. The time is now. No more excuses. No more wasted pain. Own it. Use it. Rise. Stop waiting for validation. It's your job to believe. Some of you are living like hostages to other people's approval. You wake up and your first unconscious thought is, will they like me? Will they notice me? Will I be enough for them today? And every day you hand over the keys to your life. You hand your self-worth to the opinions of people who are too busy wrestling with their own insecurities to validate yours. And here's the punch in the gut. They're not coming. The validation you crave isn't arriving in the mail. The world isn't going to stop and say, congratulations, you're enough. You have to stop waiting for the applause, because the applause doesn't pay your bills. The applause doesn't build your dreams. The applause doesn't hold you up when you're broken at 2 a.m. crying into the dark. The applause is hollow. You don't need it. What you need is certainty. What you need is belief. Belief is not optional. It's the foundation. Belief is the oxygen of transformation. Without it, you suffocate. With it, you can run through walls. But here's the catch. Belief doesn't fall from the sky. It's not sprinkled on you when you're born. It's forged. It's chosen. It's demanded. At some point you must decide, I believe in me, not because I'm perfect, not because the world claps for me, but because I am relentless, because I won't stop, because this is my life, and I refuse to hand it over. Validation is a drug. The more you taste it, the more you crave it, the weaker you get without it. It makes you a slave to the crowd. One day they love you, the next day they boo you, and your entire life swings like a puppet on their strings. But when you stop waiting, when you break that addiction, you become free. You walk into rooms with certainty that cannot be shaken. You stand tall in your mission, whether the crowd cheers or goes silent, because you're not there to be liked. You're there to be true. You want to know why most people never achieve greatness? It's not because they lack talent. It's not because they lack opportunity. It's because they spend their lives begging for permission to shine. But lions don't ask sheep for validation. Warriors don't ask the battlefield for approval before charging forward. Stop asking permission to be who you already are. When you validate yourself, when you decide your belief is non-negotiable, everything changes. Suddenly rejection doesn't break you, it refines you. Criticism doesn't paralyze you, it focuses you. Failure doesn't define you, it fuels you. Because your worth is no longer rented from others, it's owned by you. And you don't build belief by waiting, you build belief by doing. You take the first step, and when you survive it, you gain evidence. You take another and you stack the evidence. That stack becomes certainty, becomes identity, and identity drives destiny. Stop waiting for validation. You are the validator. You are the judge. You are the builder of your own worth. Own it now, because time is running out. Every day you wait for them to clap is another day stolen from your dream. Don't die with your song still inside you because you were waiting for the audience to ask for an encore. Sing now. Believe now. Live now. Discipline is freedom, not punishment. The second your brain hears the word discipline, it rebels. It says, that sounds like pain. That sounds like sacrifice. That sounds like chains. But let me flip the switch for you. Discipline is not the prison. Discipline is the key to the prison. Discipline is freedom. Think about it. When you live without discipline, you're not free. You're a slave. A slave to impulse. A slave to distraction. A slave to procrastination. To cravings, to laziness, to moods. You think you're free when you indulge, but you're shackled by the consequence. And discipline feels good in the moment, but it robs you of everything you truly want: health, wealth, respect, pride, power, legacy. Real freedom doesn't come from doing whatever you want. Real freedom comes from training yourself to do what must be done, even when you don't feel like it. Because feelings are fleeting, but outcomes are forever. Discipline is the ultimate form of self-love. It's saying, I care enough about my future to do the hard thing now. If you don't have discipline, you don't have freedom, you have chaos. You live in reaction, you're controlled by outside forces. But when you own discipline, you become the master. You dictate your body, you dictate your mind, you dictate your results. Most people live like leaves in the wind. Whatever way the breeze blows, their mood, their environment, their temptations, that's where they go. But warriors, leaders, creators, they're rooted. Their roots are discipline. Storms come, winds blow, but they don't break, they rise. Here's the paradox. Discipline is hard at first, but it gets easier. Indiscipline is easy at first, but it gets harder. Eat the junk food, easy now. Disease later. Skip the workout, easy now. Weakness later. Spend instead of invest, easy now. Poverty later. Indiscipline always collects its debt with interest, but discipline compounds. Do the workout hard now, strong later. Save the money, hard now, wealthy later. Control your tongue, hard now, respect later. Discipline pays you back with freedom. Ask yourself, what chains do you want? The chains of regret or the chains of discipline? Because regret is the heaviest chain you'll ever carry. Discipline weighs ounces, regret weighs tons. You are not weak. You are not lazy by nature. You've just forgotten the truth. Your brain is wired for comfort, not greatness. Comfort whispers, rest, tomorrow, later. Discipline roars, now. And the more you obey that roar, the louder it becomes. The stronger you get, the freer you live. Discipline is not punishment. It is the most radical act of self-respect you can perform. It is declaring, I refuse to be owned by excuses, by cravings, by the weaker version of me. It is sculpting your body, your mind, your future with the chisel of consistency. And here's the identity shift. Stop seeing discipline as restriction. Start seeing it as the pathway to everything you desire. Freedom of health, freedom of time, freedom of choice, freedom of self-respect. That's what discipline buys. If you don't master discipline, life will discipline you through pain, through regret, through loss. But if you master it, you walk with power, you walk with pride, you walk free. Stop waiting for validation. It's your job to believe. Discipline is freedom, not punishment. Take these two truths and weld them into your soul. Believe without needing permission. Act with discipline as if your future depends on it. Because it does. Your clock is ticking. This is your moment. Don't waste another second living small. Believe, discipline, freedom now. Excuses kill momentum. Momentum is life. Momentum is the invisible force that makes the impossible look effortless. When you've got momentum, doors fly open, energy flows through you, and life bends in your direction. You felt it before. You start stacking wins, and suddenly it feels like the universe is conspiring for you. That's not luck, that's momentum, and momentum is life. But here's the killer. Excuses destroy momentum faster than anything else. Excuses are like slamming the brakes on a rocket ship just as it's lifting off. You tell yourself, I'll start tomorrow. I'm too tired today. It's not the right time. And just like that, you kill the fire. You sabotage your own launch. And then you wonder why life feels heavy, why success feels so far away. Excuses are termites. You don't always see the damage right away, but silently, relentlessly, they eat away at your structure until one day it collapses. Excuses may feel small. I'll just skip one workout. I'll just delay the call. I'll just scroll a little longer. But each one is momentum lost, and momentum lost is life delayed. Here's what you must understand. Excuses don't just stop your progress. They reverse it. Life is never standing still. You're either climbing or sliding. You're either creating momentum or destroying it. Every excuse tilts the slope downward, and gravity does the rest. Do you know why some people win? It's not because they're smarter. It's not because they're luckier. It's because they refuse to break momentum. They've conditioned themselves to keep moving, no matter what. Tired? They move. Scared? They move. Uncertain? They move. Because they know the law of momentum. Motion creates emotion, and emotion creates action, and action compounds into results. Momentum is not magic, it's habit. It's stacking small wins so consistently that they start to avalanche. One rep becomes 10, one call becomes a business, one act of courage becomes a new identity. That's how momentum works. It multiplies, but only if you stop poisoning it with excuses. Every excuse you've ever told yourself was a theft of energy, a theft of belief, a theft of the life you could have lived. And here's the brutal truth. You don't get those moments back. Time doesn't refund excuses. You think you're buying comfort, but you're buying regret. So here's your wake-up call. Stop negotiating with excuses. Excuses are lies. Excuses are death. Excuses are the assassins of momentum. And momentum is the lifeblood of your destiny. You want to change your life? Get addicted to momentum. Protect it like it's oxygen. Build it every single day. Refuse to let a single excuse pry it from your hands. Because once you're moving, once you're unstoppable, nothing can stand in your way. Excuses kill momentum. Momentum is life. Choose life. Choose momentum. Choose now. Keynote 6. Raise your standards or live small. Your life right now, every detail of it, is the direct reflection of your standards. Not your goals, not your dreams, your standards. You don't get what you want, you get what you tolerate. And most people are suffering, not because life is unfair, but because their standards are insultingly low. You say you want health, but your standard is comfort food and skipped workouts. You say you want wealth, but your standard is spending before saving. You say you want love, but your standard is tolerating disrespect and shallow connections. Don't lie to yourself. The results you have are the standards you've accepted. Standards are the thermostat of your life. No matter what happens, you always come back to the level you've set for yourself. If your standard is mediocrity, you'll never rise above it. If your standard is excellence, you won't allow yourself to drop below it. Raise your standards, and your life must follow. Here's the secret. Raising your standards isn't about getting hyped. It's about identity. You must decide, this is who I am now, and anything less is unacceptable. That's the shift. When excellence becomes your identity, mediocrity becomes intolerable. Think about the people you admire, the champions, the leaders, the creators. Their success is not an accident. It's not luck. It's not talent alone. It's standards. They refuse to accept average. They refuse to settle. They demand more from themselves than anyone else would ever dare demand, and that demand shapes their destiny. But most people, they negotiate with their standards. They say just this once, just today, I'll get serious tomorrow, and every negotiation chips away at their greatness. You don't get what you occasionally demand, you get what you consistently expect. Raising your standards is the ultimate act of power. It's drawing a line in the sand and declaring, never again. I will never again settle for less than I am capable of. I will never again shrink to fit someone else's comfort zone. I will never again betray myself for temporary relief. That declaration changes everything. And yes, it's uncomfortable. Yes, it's demanding. Yes, it will cost you the old version of yourself. But ask yourself, what is the cost of staying the same? What is the cost of living small? The cost is your potential. The cost is your soul. The cost is your one and only life wasted on excuses and mediocrity. You're not here to live small. You're not here to scrape by. You're here to expand, to conquer, to create, to burn so brightly that your very existence inspires others. But none of that happens until you raise your standards. This is not motivational fluff. This is physics of life. The moment you raise your standards, and mean it, your brain, your body, your behavior recalibrate to match. Opportunities show up, energy shows up, courage shows up, because life responds to what you demand of it. So I'll ask you directly, what standard will you no longer tolerate? What line will you draw right now? Where will you say enough is enough? This is beneath me. And what new standard will you set so high, so fierce, that it forces you to rise into the person you were born to be? Raise your standards or live small. That's the choice. That's the truth. There is no middle ground. The average life is already overcrowded. Don't join them. Demand greatness. Demand more. Demand now. Because the clock is ticking. And every second you wait, you're deciding to stay small. Raise your standards. Live big or shrink in regret. The choice is yours. Focus turns sparks into fire. Listen carefully. Your life is not determined by how much you know, how talented you are, or how many dreams you hold in your head. Your life is determined by one thing: your ability to focus. Focus is the blade that cuts through distraction. Focus is the magnifying glass that takes scattered light and burns it into fire. Focus is the difference between dabbling and dominating. Most of you don't lack energy. You lack focus. You're leaking power into 1,000 meaningless directions. One day you're inspired to start the business. The next day you're binging on shows. One moment you're fired up to get fit. The next you're drowning in junk food. You scatter your attention, and then you wonder why nothing ignites. Sparks don't become fire when you keep blowing them out with distraction. Distraction is the great killer of dreams. It doesn't stab you in the chest, it bleeds you out slowly. Notifications, gossip, scrolling, noise. Every time you allow distraction to hijack your mind, you break momentum. You give away the one thing you can never recover, your focus. And without focus, you are powerless. Think about it. A river is just water until it's channeled. When it's scattered across a field, it makes mud. But when it's focused through a dam, it generates electricity that can light up entire cities. Your life is the same. Scattered, you are mud. Focused, you are power. Focus is not just about productivity. It's about identity. What you focus on, you feel. Focus long enough, and it becomes your belief. Focus consistently, and it becomes your reality. If you focus on problems, you feel powerless. If you focus on possibilities, you feel unstoppable. Focus is the steering wheel of your mind, and where it points, your destiny follows. You must understand, the world is at war for your focus. Companies are spending billions to keep you distracted, addicted, shallow, because a distracted you is a powerless you. But a focused you, that's dangerous. A focused you is a creator, a leader, a conqueror. That's why most people never sustain focus long enough to see breakthrough. They've been conditioned to scatter. Here's the breakthrough. Stop dabbling. Stop starting and stopping. Stop giving your energy to everything and everyone except the thing that actually matters. Pick one mission, one vision, one goal, and attack it with every ounce of your being. Burn the boats. Kill the plan B. Take the magnifying glass of your life and hold it still until the fire explodes. Yes, it's uncomfortable. Yes, it will require sacrifice. You will have to say no again and again and again. But every no you say to distraction is a yes to your destiny. Every ounce of focus you reclaim is fuel on your fire. You want to be unstoppable. You want to ignite a life that burns with purpose. Then make focus your obsession. Protect it like oxygen. Train it like a muscle. Starve distraction. Feed intensity. And watch as the sparks of your potential explode into a wildfire that cannot be contained. Focus turns sparks into fire. Without it, you'll live in smoke. With it, you'll set the world ablaze. Your struggle is fuel, not your identity. You've been lied to. Somewhere along the way, you bought into the belief that your struggle defines you, that your pain, your failures, your scars, that's who you are. And so you wear them like a name tag. I'm the one who was abandoned. I'm the one who failed. I'm the one who wasn't chosen. I'm the one who got hurt. You've made your struggle your identity. And that is the greatest prison you could ever build for yourself. Your struggle is not who you are. It is fuel. It is training. It is raw energy for transformation. But only if you stop worshiping it. Only if you stop rehearsing it. Only if you stop telling the same sad story like it's scripture. Struggle is part of the human condition. Everyone suffers. Everyone bleeds. Everyone falls. But only a few rise. Because only a few choose to see struggle for what it really is. Not a verdict, but a resource. Struggle is the weight that builds muscle. Struggle is the fire that purifies steel. Struggle is the storm that forges resilience. When you make struggle your identity, you shrink. You say, this happened to me, so this is me. And in that moment, you lock the door on your potential. But when you decide, this happened for me, it gave me strength. It gave me hunger. It gave me the fuel to rise. Everything you stop being the victim, and you start being the warrior. Look at history. Every person who ever changed the world was fueled by struggle. Nelson Mandela's prison, Oprah's childhood, Edison's failures. Their struggle wasn't their prison, it was their fuel. It gave them the fire to rise when others quit. It gave them the edge to fight when others surrendered. The difference between those who are broken by struggle and those who are built by it is identity. Broken people say, I am my struggle. Builders say, I am the one who overcomes struggle. Same pain, different meaning, different destiny. You must decide right now, will your struggle bury you or will it feed you? Will it be the anchor that drags you down or the fuel that launches you higher? That decision is everything, because the truth is, the struggle isn't going away. Life will keep coming. The storms will hit. The question is not, will I struggle? The question is, what will I do with it? Here's the raw truth. Your struggle has been preparing you. Every scar, every heartbreak, every setback, it wasn't random, it was training. It was equipping you with grit, with hunger, with depth. Struggle carved out the space in you for greatness. Don't waste it by clinging to it as your identity. Stop telling the story of limitation. Stop introducing yourself by your wounds. Stop rehearsing the pain until it hardens into chains. Your past is not your name. Your scars are not your definition. They are your trophies. They are proof you survived. Proof you're still here. Proof you can rise again. Your struggle is not your identity. It is your fuel. Pour it on the fire of your vision. Let it burn brighter because of what you've been through. Let it push you harder because of what you've survived. Let it remind you that you're unstoppable, unbreakable, undeniable. The world doesn't need another victim. The world doesn't need another excuse. The world needs you. Your strength, your fire, your relentless example of what happens when someone refuses to bow to struggle and instead uses it as rocket fuel. So stop shrinking into the shadow of your story. Step into the light of your future. Your struggle is fuel, not your identity. Own it, use it, rise. Quitting is not an option when you care enough. Quitting is easy. Quitting is comfortable. Quitting is the path of least resistance. And that's why most people take it. They quit on their dreams. They quit on their fitness. They quit on their relationships. They quit on themselves. And every time they quit, they shrink. Every time they quit, they reinforce the identity of someone who can't be trusted by their own soul. But when you care enough, when the mission is not just a wish, but a necessity, quitting ceases to exist. It's not on the table. It's not in the vocabulary. It's not even an option. Because if it's an option, sooner or later, you'll take it. The truth is, you've quit before. We all have. And it cost you. You felt that sting, that hollow pit in your stomach that whispers, "I gave up on me." That is the most painful betrayal, not when someone else quits on you, but when you quit on you. That's the wound that lingers. That's the regret that haunts. Quitting is not just the loss of a goal, it's the loss of trust. You teach yourself, "My word means nothing. My dream means nothing. I fold when it gets hard." And when that belief takes root, it infects everything. You stop starting. You stop trying. You stop believing. But the opposite is also true. When you eliminate quitting as an option, you ignite a new identity. I finish what I start. I keep my word. I fight until it bends. I will die before I quit. That identity is unbreakable. That identity is power. You've got to decide right now, how much do you care? Do you care enough to fight through boredom, through rejection, through fatigue, through failure after failure? Because if you don't, you will quit. And if you do, nothing can stop you. Look at the greats. Champions aren't born, they are made in the furnace of perseverance. They've been knocked down, humiliated, doubted. They've tasted failure in ways most people can't imagine. The difference is, they refused to quit. They burned the bridges. They ripped at the exit signs off the walls. They cared too much to quit. The greatest shift you'll ever make is the moment you look in the mirror and realize, "I am the one I've been waiting for." That's the day you stop being a victim of life and start being the architect of it. That's the day you stop being a passenger and grab the wheel. That's the day you become the hero. A hero doesn't have superpowers handed to them. They're forged in the fire. A hero isn't someone who feels no fear. They're someone who moves despite it. A hero isn't chosen. They choose themselves, and that's the choice in front of you. Will you keep waiting for someone else, or will you rise as your own damn hero? Look at your life right now. Where have you been waiting? Where have you been hoping that someone else would step in, fix it, carry you? That is the very place you must rise. That is the battlefield where your hero must be born. Nobody is coming to fight for your health. You've got to fight. Nobody is coming to create your wealth. You've got to create. Nobody is coming to fix your relationships. You've got to do the work. Nobody is coming to pull you out of bed in the morning. You've got to rise. And when you do, when you decide to stop waiting and start becoming, something inside you shifts forever. You walk taller. You speak louder. You act bolder, because you're no longer dependent. You're no longer fragile. You're no longer waiting. You are leading. You are building. You are becoming. That's what the world needs. Not another victim. Not another excuse. Not another person wasting their potential because they're sitting by the phone waiting for a call that will never come. The world needs you. On fire. Awake. Alive. Taking ownership of your destiny. Nobody's coming. And that's not bad news. It's the best news of your life. Because it means you're free. Free to rise. Free to decide. Free to become the hero you've always been waiting for. The question is, will you? Listen to me. This entire time, I haven't been talking to the version of you that people see every day. I've been talking to the version you've been hiding. The one who knows they're capable of more. The one who's sick of dimming their light. The one who's tired of pretending they're fine when they're dying inside. And I'm not letting you off the hook. Not now. Not after everything you've just felt. Because mediocrity is seductive. It whispers, stay safe, stay small, stay comfortable. But comfort is the cage that's been stealing your life. And I won't stand here and watch you walk back into it. You have a choice right now, to shrink back into the same old patterns, or to step forward as the version of you that refuses to break promises to themselves, that refuses to quit, that refuses to wait for a rescue. Your power is not in tomorrow. It's not in someday. It's here in this second, in this decision. So I'm asking you, no, I'm demanding of you. Don't just nod along. Don't just feel hyped and then do nothing. Anchor this. Lock it in. Right now, go to the comments and declare the one action you are committed to take immediately. Not later, not tomorrow, now. Because this is not motivation. This is transformation. And transformation only belongs to those who ACT. This is your moment. Rise or stay small. The next decision will define you. This is Tony Robbins' track, and the next video might just be the key you've been waiting for.